Hey guys, welcome back. Yesterday we were just looking at some of the new Perils in Paradise cards. Expansions coming out tomorrow. I got pretty tired at the end of the stream yesterday, so I had to kind of cut it short, but we're back and we're going to review the rest of the cards. So I think we were like halfway through Demon Hunter last time, and I was saying how I think that the big Demon Hunter stuff I think sucks with like Cliff Dive and All Terrain Void Hound. I don't see like a use for that, but I think the aggressive Demon Hunter with Arana, like the priest self damage cards and pirates, is going to be really, really good. I think it'll be like a tier 1 deck, and it'll hopefully keep like the slower combo decks sort of in check, I guess, because I think it'll be so aggressive that it will be really difficult for slower decks to deal with. So I think it should balance it out, hopefully, but we'll see. But anyways, so actually we can start with the Priest Tourist card, Arana Thrill Seeker, 5 mana 5/6 legendary. Priest Tourist, so if you put it in your deck, lets you put the Priest Perils in Paradise cards into your Demon Hunter deck. And it has damage. Damage your hero takes on your turn is redirected to a random enemy. So this is, I think, going to be really great in Demon Hunter. I think like the aggressive pirate Demon Hunter will definitely want to run this card because it's going to want to run the Priest aggressive self-damage package with like Acupuncture, Brain Masseuse, Sauna Regular. I don't think Hot Coals... personally, I think it's too slow, but those cards will make it really good. And this effect that it has, where it basically lets you do like Warlock Demon Seed for a turn or 2 turns if this sticks around on the board, it's like a really good finishing effect, I think. And around turn 5-6 is when you want to be like closing out the game with a deck that's aggressive, so I think it's a perfect fit. I think it'll be really good. I don't think it will be too insane that it will need a nerf or anything, but I think it'll be really good. Climbing Hook, 6 mana 5/2 weapon for Demon Hunter. Doesn't lose durability while you control a minion with 5 or more attack. I think this sucks. I think it's paying way too much for a 5/2 weapon. I mean, I don't know any deck or class in a long time that's actually paid this much for a weapon that doesn't do anything. Like it doesn't, like its only effect is dealing damage. So I don't think this is good. I think it's part of the weird like big package for Demon Hunter, and yeah, I think we can just throw it out with the rest of those. I think it sucks. Okay, so this one doesn't suck. Sigil of Skydiving, 2 mana Fell Spell. At the start of your next turn, summon 3 1/1 pirates with charge. I think this will be like a staple in the aggressive Demon Hunter deck. It looks maybe kind of bad at first because you're like spending 2 mana to do nothing on a turn, which is really bad for aggressive decks, but I think the tempo gain that you get on the next turn is so good that it's fine. It's worth skipping your turn, I think, to have such an amazing third turn. And even in the late game it's good too, because it's basically putting way more damage on the board later on when your opponent also will already be at low health. So it's really good. This will see play in that deck for sure. So will this Dangerous Cliffside, 4 mana location, 3 durability, summon 2 1/1 pirates at charge. After hero attacks, reopen this. I think that this will also go into the deck because you're just getting so much charge burst damage and 1/1 bodies that are pirates. Pirate synergy, it all, like, I think that it's gonna be a really easy deck to build because I think you put kind of all of these aggressive pirate cards into it and the priest self-damage stuff, and then maybe fill it out with like a weapon like quick pick maybe. So that's just off the top of my head, but you want to be attacking a lot with your hero in that deck. This card is great in it. It'll allow you to like actually stay on the board for a while, which is what I like in aggressive decks. Like I like when aggressive decks don't just shut down as soon as you lose the board. Like this lets you kind of keep the presence going for a while, so I like it. I think it'll be good. Paraglide, 3 mana, spell. Both players draw 3 cards. Outcast, only you do. I can't. It's hard to think off the top of my head of what is like the best draw that Demon Hunter has. Aggressive Demon Hunter, especially. It has like the basic Outcast card, the 2-mana draw 2 Outcast, which I don't think is good enough to see play. Like, it's not seeing play right now. So I think the aggressive Demon Hunter will actually want to play this card because it is efficient card draw that I don't think Demon Hunter really has. Like, it has like the Naga, the sharp-eyed, the sharpshooter, the 4-mana Naga that everyone hates that got nerfed into oblivion. That is only good in like that Naga deck. I don't think it'll be good in this pirate deck, so I think this will be good instead. Like, I think this will be the card draw they choose. Maybe they'll run the 2-mana guy from Badlands, the bartender guy that draws you the Outcast cards and puts on the left side of your hand. I think a Bartendo bot maybe. That card I think might actually be put in because it's so good to get that Outcast off on this and to tutor for it. So it might be put in just for this card. We'll see. I think that's like a real possibility. We'll see. Adrenaline Fiend, 2-mana 2/2 Demon Pirate. After a friendly pirate attacks, give your hero +1 attack this turn. I think this card is insane. It's one of the other really good pirate cards that's going to go into the aggressive deck. There's not really much to say with it. It's like a very snowbally early gameplay that it will help the deck be so aggressive. Like, I think this Demon Hunter deck will be more aggressive than even like, I don't know what aggressive decks that we have now, like the Swarm Paladin with Sea Giants, or like the Hand Buff Paladin, or the Token Hunter. Like, those decks are aggressive, but I think this deck will be even more. It will be like Pirate Warrior, like Gadget Sand Pirate Warrior level of aggressive. I think it'll be very fast, and I think it'll be fun. I'm actually really looking forward to playing it. Aggressive play styles aren't, like, I like them, but they aren't what I like to play for a while. But I'm excited to try this for sure. This card will be great in that, for sure. Why does it always want to show me the Rye Cleaver? That's not the right weapon. That isn't the right weapon. I think that the website's getting confused. Anyways, the last one for Demon Hunter, we have Patches the Pilot. Demon Pirate, 1-mana 1/1, Battlecry, shuffle 6 parachutes into your deck that summon 1/1 pirates with charge when drawn. So actually, talking about Pirate Warrior from Gadget Sand, that was actually the first deck, that was the first real deck that I played way back in the day. And I had so much fun because it was just it was just so easy to win. I was such a bad player, but it didn't matter because it was so brain dead. It was so easy, and Patches was like, anyone who played then remembers that Patches was what made all of those pirate decks back then so good. I think this is a really awesome card. This is like a great callback to Patches. It's not as crazy, like it's not as game breaking, but it's a really, really good one drop. And if you're drawing a lot of cards as an aggressive Demon Hunter, which you will be doing with like the paragliding card that we just looked at, you'll be drawing most of these cast when drawn. And I think if you draw even like 2 of them throughout the course of the game, like if we're being realistic, you're trying to end the game really fast, you're only going to draw like 2, maybe 3 of them, unless you're super lucky. It's still value, like it's still really good. Getting those free charging pirates is like always good. It's never bad. It's like you're never there's no scenario where that's not good. So I think this card's great. This is one of my favorite cards of the set, actually, just because I love Patches and I love like just the lore of Hearthstone that he represents. I think this card is awesome. So yeah, overall with Demon Hunter, I'm like really Demon Hunter, Druid, and then some of the Paladin Mage stuff that I'll look at in a sec are like probably my top 3 like most looked forward to things to play. Maybe Big Warrior too, although I'm kind of not feeling Big Warrior as much the more I look at these other cards. But I think this aggressive Demon Hunter pirate package will be super good. It'll be tier 1, and there we go. Okay, so Shaman. Shaman is kind of difficult to evaluate. I'll just start right off the bat with Carefree Cookie, which is the Tourist. 3 mana 2/2 Murloc Pirate, Demon Hunter Tourist. So you get the Demon Hunter package we just talked about. After a friendly minion dies, summon a random minion that costs 1 more. I think this will be great because I think the aggressive Demon Hunter Pirate package can go into like an aggressive Shaman deck. Because Shaman has Wind Fury, and then you can put in this Skirting Death and give your hero tons of attack, and attack with like Horn of the Windlord, which will be really good. So I think that will be a deck. I don't think it will be as good as the Demon Hunter Priest version of it, personally, just because I think the Priest self-damage stuff is a lot stronger than like the Shaman Wind Fury stuff. But Carefree Cookie will be good. That will be a deck too. I think it will be very close in how good it is to like the Demon Hunter version of it. So that's basically all I have to say about that. Matching outfits, 4 mana Shaman spell, transform a minion into a random one that costs 1 more, then summon a copy of it. I don't really see like a good place that this card fits in right now because it's kind of slow. And like slow evolving isn't really what Shaman wants to do right now. Like I think in the aggressive Pirate Demon Hunter deck, this won't be good. Like this because that's summoning a bunch of tokens and stuff. So like this isn't really good with small tokens. This is good with like big valuable minions. So I don't think it's very good. Maybe eventually, but right now it's just like it doesn't have a place. Okay, so we have 3 mana Melt Elemental, which is a 3 mana 3/8 with Taunt Elemental. This is permanently frozen. Again, like I think it's good theoretically, but I don't really see like a place where this can fit in because there isn't like a defensive control Shaman deck right now. Maybe Nature Shaman, but I don't think Nature Shaman is good, especially compared to like the other combo stuff that we're getting. I don't think Nature Shaman I don't think people will want to gravitate to that because there's just other better combo stuff. So yeah, I really like this. Like I really like the design of this card, but I don't think it'll really see play, unfortunately. Natural Talent, 3 mana nature spell, get a random Naga and a random spell. They cost 1 less. So again, like I don't know what kind of Shaman deck this will fit into, because there is the Demon Hunter Pirate with Cookie that you can play, that deck, and there's also the Cabaret Headliner Spell School deck, but out of those ones I don't think this fits into either of them, and I don't think that this is actually like this isn't strong enough to create its own archetype of card or of deck. I mean, so it's like value, it's slow value. I don't see a place for it now. It doesn't do anything that you want to do basically in either of the decks that Shaman is going to have. We just talked about that one. Razzle Dazzler. This one is a really cool card, and like I really hope that it sees play. 7 mana 4/4 Naga, Battlecry, summon a random 5-cost minion, repeat for each spell school you've cast this game. So we can look at the other like Shaman spell school cards. We'll come back to those ones, but why it always wants to go out of order. Basically these two ones. The Shaman spell school thing looks like you want to have a combo where you're reducing. Let's just talk about this because we talked about it so much already. Cabaret Headliners, 4 mana 3/3 Naga, Battlecry, reduce the cost of a spell of each school in your hand by 2. So what you want to do, this is looking like you could play it for value, but it's looking really like you want to do some kind of combo with it. I don't know if I am galaxy brain enough to think of like a great combo to do with this with a bunch of different spell schools, but there is one for sure. You can like maybe with Malted Magma, I don't know. But with that, if you're trying to combo out your opponent with like reducing combo pieces, you don't want to then play Razzle Dazzler afterwards and like summon a bunch of shit on the board, because at that point you would have hoped to like have won already, you know? Like this is a really good like late game value play, but I think with this type of Shaman spell school deck, you don't want to be going into the late game. You want to be like or if you're in the late game, you want to be finishing the combo and OTKing. You don't want to be summoning a bunch of shit. Maybe in like a different kind of spell school archetype, this will be good. Maybe in like Death Knight, because Death Knight gets some of the shaman cards. But I actually don't think that this will see play. I think people will try it out because it looks really fun. It's like a really cool card, but I don't think it'll actually see play in the long term. Frosty Decor as a 5-mana frost spell. Summon 2/4 elementals with taunt and death rattle, gain 4 armor. I think this card will actually see play, even if it doesn't look great. Like, it doesn't look super powerful, but it's kind of like it's a lot like Cold Case from Nathria, which was the mage 4-mana card that gave you armor and summoned the skeletons, because it doesn't give you the armor right away, which is kind of a downside if you're facing against like a burn combo, which will be a lot of, but it is like a lot of health against like the aggressive demon hunter stuff we were talking about. This is really good in a lot of cases. So, and it's a frost spell, so it can get its cost reduced by the spell school stuff. It has synergy with that. So I think this will see play in like this spell school combo shaman, because it's a good stall card, and that's kind of, and then any kind of like control shaman that pops up in the future, I think this will be good in that too. Siren Song is a 2-mana spell. Get 2 random spells from spell schools you haven't cast this game. This would be amazing in like Rainbow Mage if it was possible to like randomly generate it in that. Apart from that, I don't see what is the point of this, because you in the spell school shaman you want specific spells that add up to the combo and not like random ones. I don't think this will see play. It's unless if there's a value spell school shaman somehow, I don't think that has any chance of seeing play, but that's what this card and Razzle Dazzler would be good in, like a late game value deck, but I don't think that has any chance of being good. So we have the legendary Karis or Caress, I don't know how to pronounce it, Cabaret Star, 5-mana 5/5 Naga. While in your hand, play 2 different spell schools to transform. So basically, it's kind of like the Lady Nazjar, it's the mage legendary from the mini set in Voyage to the Sunken City, where it changed based on it changed in your hand based on what spell school you were casting. So this one is very similar to that. You can see here it kind of there's a whole bunch of different combinations depending on which spell schools you cast. I think this will be good in the combo. Obviously, it's very good in like the value deck we were talking about. I don't think that'll be good, but I think it will be good in the combo deck with spell schools, because you can get the deal 6 damage to the enemy hero, which is really good. I don't think you can double up on it. It would be pretty crazy if you could, but yeah, like deal 6 damage and restore 6 to you is great for stalling out the game and kind of lowering your opponent so that your combo goes off better. So I think this will be good in that. It's just a pretty good like solid card for that archetype. And we that's actually kind of annoying that it keeps doing that. The Cabaret Headliner, we already kind of went over this, but this will be like the key combo piece for reducing a bunch of, like, I'm maybe thinking like Lightning Storm or Lightning Bolt, and like Malted Magma. It is just really not, whatever. I'll stop acknowledging it. It will reduce your combo pieces. Basically, this is what is going to make the combo deck happen with the different spell schools, and it'll be good in that. It'll be really good. I don't know how good that deck will be overall compared to, like, we're going to look at other combo decks in a bit, for specifically like Paladin and Mage, that are going to be so good that I think they will be the best combo decks in the game, and I think Shaman combo will be a little bit worse than them. Probably like tier 2, I would say. I don't see it being that OP, but we'll see. But this card will be what makes that, basically. Oh my god. Malted Magma is a 2-mana shaman spell. Is deal 1 damage to all enemies. It's a fire spell, so importantly, it has a spell school. and you can cast it 3 times. So this is what I think will be played with the Cadbury Headliner and that whole combo deck, because it's a fire spell and it does damage to the enemy hero, and you can cast it multiple times. You can reduce its cost, so the first cast is free. I don't exactly know how that is going to play out, but I think that will be good. So overall, I think we're gonna have 2 shaman decks. We're gonna have the aggressive stuff with Demon Hunter with Carefree Cookie that will be really, really good. We're gonna have the combo deck with Spell Schools that'll be great, but not as good as the other combo decks, basically. So that's that for shaman. Okay, so Death Knight. First of all, I just want to say about Death Knight that I'm really disappointed by like this whole Death Knight set, because they keep printing rainbow cards, and we've had like a year of them printing rainbow support, and it was cool at first because they used to like not ever do it, and then I was trying to play a good rainbow Death Knight deck forever until Showdown in the Badlands came out, and then they actually like buffed some of the cards. It took forever basically, but now I feel like they won't stop printing rainbow support. You can see with all these runes they have like Unholy, Frost Unholy, Blood Frost, and single Unholy. Like, it's clearly cards that are going to fit into a rainbow Death Knight deck, because that's the only Death Knight deck that's like anywhere on the radar good right now. And I just kind of wish that, like, I love blood, like triple blood control Death Knight. It's one of my favorite decks ever that I've played. So I really kind of want them to go back to printing like triple rune support. Maybe they will next set, but I hope they do that. All of that aside, we have Horizon's Edge. It's a 4-mana location with 5 durability. I don't know why this has 5, because it seems ridiculous, but whatever. Deal 3 damage randomly split among all enemies after a friendly minion dies. Reopen this. You can already see this with crop rotation, other mining casualties, all of the good like token summoning cards that Rainbow Death Knight runs. This is good with all of that. This is great with all of that. I think it's a little silly. I think the fact that you can just spam so much damage for nothing, like this should have 3 durability. I think 5 is crazy. So hopefully this, I don't know if this needs to be nerfed if it's like that powerful, because I don't think Rainbow like token Death Knight is going to be great in the new meta, but this will be like a really annoying card. I don't like this card. I like the art. The art is amazing. The art is incredible, but I think that it's just really spammy. It's really frustrating. It's very little counterplay unless you run that card that destroys a location, but that's like lame. Like, who wants to do that? Anyways, Slippery Slope is a 2-mana frost spell with 2 frost runes. Freeze a character, draw a card for each frozen character. I don't think this card will see any play at all. I don't think there's any. If you're running a double frost rune deck, you're going to want to run a triple frost rune deck, I think, because I have no idea what other rune you'd want to like put in there. I think I'd have to look at like the whole Death Knight class to see, but what is a triple frost rune deck? Like, there's no support for that. It's been dead for a while. It's like, if it's gonna be like a combo thing with like a bunch of frost spells, then that's not gonna be a good combo. Like, we've already talked about how there's gonna be so many good there's gonna be so many good combo decks coming out, and this is not good. Basically, I don't think Frost Death Knight's good, so this can't be played. Even if it's okay, card draw efficiency, whatever. Snow Shredder is a 4-mana 4/4 undead with a 1 frost rune requirement, and it costs 1 if a character is frozen. So even though this has, the only thing that I can think of with this is because there's 1 frost rune, it can go in a rainbow, and you can do Quartzite Crusher, which is really good, I think, in rainbow decks. Freeze the enemy hero with it, like you always want to do. And then you play this for 1. That's pretty good, but it's like a pretty narrow synergy, and I don't think Rainbow Death Knight has a lot of room to cut cards for this. So I actually don't think this will see much play either. It's a cool card, though, and I think that if there is more like frost stuff and freeze stuff printed in the future, it will be good. But for right now, I don't think so. Okay, Frostbitten Freebooter, which is another weird frost card. I just don't see how this will work, but whatever. It's a 3-mana 2/2 undead pirate. Death Rattle, freeze 3 random enemies. Any that were already frozen take 5 damage instead. I think this card, unlike the other two, straight up sucks. Like, I don't think it's so bad to have a terribly statted 3-drop that freezes on a death rattle, because when you're freezing stuff, you want it to be right now. That's the only time you want, like, the only reason you want to freeze things in Hearthstone is because you don't want them to deal damage to you. Let's say the opponent has like a bunch, like 2 or 3 really big damage dealing minions on the board, and you put this down, they don't do, like, they can just not kill it, and then their stuff won't be frozen. And so it's a really useless play. I think it's really bad. I think it's kind of garbage tier. It definitely won't see play. Okay, so we have this one, 2-mana 1/4 Brittlebone Buccaneer, which has 1 Unholy Rune requirement. Undead Pirate. Whenever you play a Death Rattle minion, give it Reborn. I think that Rainbow Death Knight would want to run this if it had more Death Rattles. It has like Chill Fallen Baron, which is the best kind of thing to like curve into with this. And then it also has where'd it go? It has Eliza Goreblade coming out, which I think will definitely be in Rainbow Death Knight. But this is a legendary, so it's like you don't even draw it all the time. You can't tutor it really. So like, what is this gonna target? It's really bad stats for the cost, so I think that it's quite bad. I don't unless Rainbow Death Knight pivots to get more Death Rattles in it, I don't think this would see play. So we have Ghoul's Knight, which I think is hilarious, and I love the art. I think this is a really fun card. 4 mana, 1 Unholy requirement spell. Summon 5 1/1 ghouls that attack random enemies. It's very similar to like Crop Rotation, except it can go face, and then the ghouls don't die immediately afterwards. Yeah, no. See, yeah, the token doesn't have. It's not the same as the hero power token, so it stays alive. This I think will be good in Rainbow Death Knight, especially because they're going to run Horizon's Edge with it, and this is great synergy with that card. So this will just go into already existing Rainbow Death Knight, I think. Kind of boring. I mean, it's a fun card, but like, I'm just tired of Rainbow Death Knight. It's like I just want some more variety. So okay, we also have this one. This one has no rune requirement. 2 mana 2/2 Dreadhound Handlers, Undead Pirate with Rush. Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Dreadhound with Reborn. I think this is an incredibly good 2-drop because it's so many stats. Like it's like Lingering Zombie from Lich King for Druid, except it's a 2-drop, which is okay, but it also has Rush, and it has like extra +1/+1 attached to the first body. Oh, excuse me. So I think it's really good. I think Rainbow Death Knight would want to run this. Maybe not every Rainbow Death Knight. Definitely like the Highlander Rainbow Death Knight, but I think it's really good. I think it'll see play in that deck for sure. We talked about this one a little. Eliza Goreblade, 4 mana 4/3 Undead Pirate with a Blood and Frost requirement. Death Rattle for the rest of the game. Your minions have 1 attack, and that affects like your tokens and everything. So this can just go in Rainbow Death Knight because Rainbow Death Knight already summons a ton of tokens. It likes to have a wide board, and the hero power is basically upgraded for the rest of the game. If you give this Reborn with stuff, I think that won't be good. I mean, it would be good, but I don't think you'd want to run that because this is the only thing in that deck that you want to give Reborn. So it's a little narrow. But, I think it's a cool card. It'll just make Rainbow Death Knight better. But will Rainbow Death Knight be good against, like, the new stuff? I don't know. I think it'll be okay. I think it'll continue being a good deck. It'll probably be, like, tier 2 or 3. I don't think it'll be great. I don't think this card makes it, like, broken or anything, so... Are we done? Is that it already with the... Oh, no, there's a couple more. Okay, Corpsicle. It's a 2-mana frost spell with 1 frost rune again. They're doing the frost thing. Deal 3 damage, spend 3 corpses to return this to your hand at the end of your turn. I think this will see play in some Rainbow Death Knight decks, because Rainbow Death Knight, it has like the Highlander version, it has the hand buff version, which doesn't really see play, it has the corpse spending heavy version, which I think this will see play in that, but it also has the excavate version, which I don't think this fits into. But this is really good for your climactic necrotic explosion, because you can spend corpses like consistently every turn and be like whittling down the opponent's health a little bit. So I think this will see play again in Rainbow Death Knight. You know, it's just like, I don't like this Death Knight set because there's no new Death Knight archetype. Like, it's basically just more rainbow shit. So whatever, this one goes into that. What can you say? We already looked at that. Okay, Buttons is the Shaman Tourist for Death Knight. 5 mana, 5/5 undead. Battlecry, draw a spell of each spell school. I don't think that Death Knight has a deck that wants to run any really of these shaman cards. Like, the Death Knight has shadow spells, it has frost spells, and then maybe it can slot in some other spell schools with it. But that just seems really bad, and it seems really bad compared to Rainbow, which is already good. So like, why would you cut out all of those good Rainbow cards to fit in like a bunch of shaman spell school stuff? It just doesn't seem good. This is good card draw, and it can get you the Threads of Despair, which is great. You know, it's a shadow spell that you always want, especially against aggressive stuff. But other than that, I don't think it's worth running. I don't think this will be good. I don't think like the Shaman Death Knight crossover will be good. And yeah, that's basically it for Death Knight. I think it's a lot of disappointing stuff, a lot of frost stuff that is just crappy. Horizon's Edge, which is annoying. And then just stuff that will make already good, already well-established decks of Rainbow Death Knight just better, slightly better. They'll just slot into it. Whatever, not very exciting. Okay, but what I think is a little bit exciting, though, is Warlock. Warlock has got a couple different things going on. First, we can start with Health Drink, which is 3 mana Fell Spell, Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion, and it's repeatable 3 times. I think this is good in like a control Warlock. I don't think there's any control Warlock that's anywhere near good or playable, especially coming up with how much combo there'll be. I don't think this will be good. I don't think that Warlock wants to run... I don't think there's a deck that wants to run this card. It's cool, though. Okay, Announce Darkness, which, you know, we have... This is fun. You know, sometimes I read these flavor texts, and they're actually hilarious. This is a really nice Office reference. Declare bankruptcy, announce darkness. I think that's an Office reference, unless I'm just reading into it way too hard. That'd be really embarrassing if it wasn't. But it's a callback to Renounce Darkness from back in the day. 2 mana shadow spell, replace your hero power and non-warlock cards with warlock ones. They cost 1 less. I don't see what is the point of this. I mean, it's funny. It's kind of hard to like even wrap my brain around. Like, replace your hero power, so you get a different hero power, and your neutral cards or your cards that you put in from another deck, from another class, get turned to random war. But like, random warlock cards are really, really bad. Even if they cost 1 less, there's so many shitty warlock cards. Like, you're just making... I mean, you know, it's the same thing with Renounce Darkness. You're just kind of making your deck shitty, but random. So it's a cool meme. You know, it's funny. It won't be good. I don't think anyone thinks this will be good. I don't think I'm arguing with anyone there. Okay, so we have the Tourist, the Death Knight Tourist. Summoner Dark Marrow, which is a 4 mana 4/4 undead. Your Death Rattle is triggered twice after you play a Death Rattle minion, destroy it. Okay, so if we take a look back at the Death Knight set, you can have Eliza Goreblade in it. I don't think that's very good in Warlock because there isn't really a Warlock deck that does tons of tokens. Warlocks right now like to sheet out really big giants and stuff, which giving them one attack is basically meaningless. Yeah, like Warlock doesn't want to put in freezing shit. That's insane. Corpsicle maybe. I don't know. I don't think Warlock honestly wants any of these cards. So I don't think that you should put this in your deck. For the death rattles that you get, there's a couple death rattle stuff that's like printed in here. But again, like you don't want to run any of the Death Knight cards, so it's kind of pointless to put in the tourist. So I don't think it'll be good, but we'll see. I don't think I just don't think it's worth running. Eat the Imp, which is a 2-mana fire spell, destroy a friendly minion to draw 3 cards. I think this is good, but again, I don't know what is like a token Warlock deck unless one comes up. Like, we're getting some token Warlock support in this, so maybe it will be good, but I don't think it'll be as good as like Pain Warlock, unless we get a combination of like Pain Warlock plus tokens. I could see that being a thing. If that's the thing, this card might be in it. It's pretty good card draw, but honestly, like, destroying a friendly minion really sucks, especially if you're not getting like a minion to replace it right away. You have to draw it and then play it. So I could see it. A little unsure about like where it will go, but whatever. Okay, Sacrificial Imp, Death Rattle. If it's your turn, summon a 6/6 Imp with Taunt. It's a 3-mana 1/6 demon. And this is a good example of like a Death Rattle card that you want to be killed on your turn. But I don't know, like, again, this will go into like the Pain token Warlock if that's a thing, or just the token Death Rattle Warlock if that's a thing. I don't know if that'll be a thing, but we'll see. If it is, then this is good in it. It's like, it's very good stats. The 1/6 for 3 is pretty crappy, but it's not the worst thing ever, so getting a 6/6 is like a pretty good upside to it. Okay, so we have Cursed Souvenir. This card I think will be great in Pain Warlock. 2-mana shadow spell, give a minion +3/+3, and at the start of your turn deal 3 damage to your hero. So this is great for like what Pain Warlock wants to do, where they could play like a Flame Imp on turn 1. The Flame Imp will probably survive. This can get put down on it. The Flame Imp is huge, and it's dealing more damage to you. It's triggering your imprisoned thing. You know what I'm talking about. Imprisoned 4/4 guy that you can cheat out for free, damaging yourself. The Molten Giant, all that stuff. The problem I think with Pain Warlock is I think the aggressive Demon Hunter and Shaman deck with pirates and stuff and priest self-damaging stuff will be too aggressive for Pain Warlock to like be able to do its thing. Against control and combo decks, I think Pain Warlock will be incredibly good counter to those, but I think stuff might be a little bit too aggressive in the meta for Pain. Like, they might be taking too much face damage too quickly to be able to actually like damage themselves. But it'll be good. It'll be a meta player. Tier 3, Tier 2, something like that. It'll be a good deck. This card will be really good in the deck. This card I think will be also maybe good in the deck. 2-mana 1/1 Fearless Flame Juggler. Battle Cry, gain stats equal to the damage your hero has taken this turn. The problem with cards like this that requires very specific action for you to do. Like, you have to damage yourself and then play this. I think historically cards like that where you have to combine it with something very specific in the same turn have historically not seen play. And also, if you deal like not even that much damage to yourself in a turn, like let's say on turn 3 you play Flame Imp and then this is a 2-mana 4/4, which is pretty good, but not even that good. It's like not amazing. And then if you play it later in the game, you deal a bunch of damage to yourself and then play it for like a 2-mana 6/6 or a 7/7 or something. That's good, but it's like late in the game and you're dealing tons of damage to yourself, and it's like just a minion, and you know, it might be too late. This is a type of effect you want to get out early. So I don't know if this will actually see play in the Pain Warlock deck, basically. Fellfire Bonfire is a 4 mana foul spell. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If it dies, your next Death Rattle minion costs 3 less. This card, I think, it's hard to think of Death Rattle minions off the top of my head that you want to cheat out. I'm trying to think of, like, what's a 8 cost Death Rattle that you can get out on turn 5. I don't know. Maybe someone else could think of it. I don't see this being... I don't think this has a good fit in, like, the Pain Warlock or the token aggressive Warlock, so I don't think that this will see play yet. If there are big Death Rattles that you want to cheat out, this will be good, but I don't think it fits into, like, the good Warlock deck, basically. Party Planner Vona is a 6 mana 4/4 legendary battlecry. If you've taken 8 damage on your turns, summon Ouroboros. Ouroboros is an 8 mana 8/8 with taunt and Death Rattle. Give a minion in your hand. Death Rattle, summon Ouroboros. So it's like basically a never-ending infinite value type thing. I think this card is good, and I think people will play it because it's very interesting. But I think for Pain Warlock, by the time you get to turn 6 and have done so much damage to your hero, like, it's so slow, right? Because not only do you have to play it, but then you have to have Ouroboros die, and to get the extra value off of it, you need to have the next minion die. And by then, it's really late into the game, and you really should be killing your opponent instead of summoning a bunch of crazy shit. Don't get me wrong, I love summoning infinite crazy shit, like infinite value stuff. So, like, in the future, if there's like a control Warlock deck that deals damage to itself, obviously Warlocks always do it with, like, their hero power, but if you have some kind of late game value deck that does that, this will be great. But I don't think Pain Warlock is a late game value deck, so therefore I don't think it'll be great in that deck. I think it'll be tried out. I'll put it this way. I think the version of Pain Warlock that runs this card won't be as good as the version of Pain Warlock that doesn't run this card. That's it, basically. Okay, this card, Party Fiend, is a 1 mana 1/1 demon, battlecry, summon 2 1/1 fell beasts, deal 3 damage to your hero. This is like an instant include in Pain Warlock. It's basically another Flame Imp, but it's 3/3 in stats instead of 3/2, and it's spread across 3 bodies, which will be great in the upcoming meta because of all the 1/1 pirate tokens and stuff like that. So this card will, I think, actually be incredibly good. It'll push Pain Warlock up to be better, and then maybe you can run more token-based stuff with it because it's kind of a token-y card. So we'll see about that, but there's not much to say about it. It's great in Pain Warlock. It'll be good. It'll make that deck better. It's like probably the best 1-drop you can have, especially going first. I'm gonna take a drink of water really quick. You guys just look at this. But yeah, basically this is a great 1-drop. It's great in Pain Warlock, Token Warlock, whatever. And yeah, that's it for Warlock. So overall, I think Pain Warlock is the main deck that it's getting a lot of support for, mainly in Party Fiend and Cursed Souvenir. That is like a great early game package for that deck. A lot of the other cards I think are questionable. It's kind of hard to see what will go into it. But that's it for Warlock, basically. Moving on to Rogue. So Rogue gets a lot of stuff that I think will basically just go into Paladin, because Paladin has the Rogue Tourist, and we'll get into that in a sec. But basically, Rogue has a lot of like thief stuff. We have Snatch and Grab, 8 mana spell, destroy 2 random enemy minions, cost 1 less for each card you've played from another class, and it does count Warlock cards because you have the Warlock Tourist. I don't think the Warlock Tourist is incredibly good by itself, so I don't think that you will be having Warlock cards in your Rogue deck. So this is good for the already existing, like, Excavate, Test, Value, Thief type Rogue. So this will go into that deck. I'm not entirely sure how good that deck will be going forward because of all the combo stuff. So it might not be great. We have Conniving Conman, 4 mana, 4/4 pirate. Battlecry, replay the last card you played from another class. Again, it's like a value. It's like a value thief card. I don't even think it's good enough though to be played in the excavate value deck, because it's so rare that you actually have a card played from another class that is just always good to replay. Not only good to replay, but so good that it makes playing a 4 mana 4/4 shitty minion actually worth it. So it's like not it, like it's good, but it's not worth a slot in a 30 card deck. Basically, is what I think about it. Sea Shill, we have Battlecry. It's a 3 mana 3/2 pirate. Battlecry, the next card you play from a non-rogue class costs 2 less. It's very similar to that 2 mana Fox guy from Madness at the Dark Moon Fair that reduces your next combo card. It's like a tempo card, basically. It's like it's a tempo body card that you get for the, again, like a thief excavate value package. I don't think it'll be good. I don't think this card is even good. Like, it's not unfair enough mana cheat compared to a lot of the other crazy mana cheat happening in the game. Like, Druid laughs at this card. This is like so bad a mana cheat compared to anything that Druid can do. So I think it's bad. I don't think it'll be good. Okay, this card is really exciting, and I'm very excited to play this card because I think it looks really fun. Treasure Hunter Eudora, 6 mana 4/5 pirate, legendary. Battlecry, go on a side quest to discover amazing loot. Play 3 cards from other classes to complete it. So basically how it works is when you play it, you get the side quest up, which is going to be like a passive quest. After you play 3 cards from other classes, you complete it. You get the reward of discovering, I think it's just discovering one of the Kazakusan like duels dungeon run type treasures that you can see here, which are all really good cards. Oh, it's okay, discover 2 pieces. So that's actually a lot better. I was just gonna say this seems a little crappy to just discover 1, but it's 2, so that's good. The problem with this card is it's another slow thief value excavate package thing. It's very slow. It's very cool. I think people will definitely play it. A lot of people love, like, excavate rogue is it's always been so popular. People love playing it, and I understand why. I love playing it too. It's very fun. It's very cool to like generate a bunch of value. This card I think will be good in that deck, in like slower versions of it maybe, but like slow isn't so good going forward, I don't think, unfortunately. Okay, so this one, 3 mana 3/3 pirate, is a swarthy sword shiner. Battlecry, set the attack and durability of your weapon to 3. Theoretically, if you have like an aggressive weapon type situation happening, this is really, really good. Getting like a 3/3 weapon, or like upgrading your already existing weapon, which could be your hero power weapon or quick pick or something like that, is really good. But there is like no deck that this actually fits into right now. Like nowhere in Rogue are you running weapons that you want to aggressively attack the opponent with in this way, with like pirates and stuff. I just don't see it happening. Like, I don't think this will be very good, unfortunately, because I think it's a cool effect. If there's ever aggressive pirate weapon rogue stuff in the future, this is like a no-brainer for that. Metal Detector is a 3 mana 2/2 weapon. After your hero attacks and kills a minion, get a coin. This seems really bad, but just because it's such a low statted weapon that you have to kill things with. If it was just your hero attacks and you get a coin, that would be good. I would think that's a great weapon. It almost pays for itself and it's good. But having to actually kill minions with your weapon as rogue is not going to be good, I don't think. Like, I think there's going to be so much aggressive shit. There's going to be so much combo damage coming. Having to deal so much damage to yourself as rogue with like no way to recover it or like heal or anything is not going to be good. So yeah, I think this is bad. Knick-Knack Shack is a 3 mana 4 durability location. Draw a card. If you play it this turn, reopen this. This I think will be great in basically every existing road deck, especially ones that have Sonya Water Dancer, because you go off on your Sonya turn and you're playing like 8 to 10 to a million cards in one turn. And with this, you basically it's like a super fast draw engine, super efficient card draw, which is what you want in that type of deck. So this will be good in like the existing rogue decks, I think. I don't think it'll be so unfair that it's crazy, because it is 3 mana and it is at most draw 4. And 3 mana draw 4 is really good, but we've seen 3 mana draw 4 similarly like typed effects before or similar power scale, and they haven't broken the game, so I don't think this will break the game either. We have O Manager as a 2 mana spell, deal 2 damage, combo, get a coin. This is great for I think the same type of like fast combo-y rogue decks that want to run Knick-Knack Shack. I don't know if this will be played in the Excavate Rogue, just because I don't know, that deck already has so many good cards in it. I don't know if it has room for it, but we'll see. I could totally see it going into there. We'll talk about this card more when we get to Paladin. So this card is one of the most exciting cards in theory from the set. I think it's a 6 mana 6/5 legendary Maestra Mask Merchant. It's the Warlock Tourist. Battlescry, discover a hero card from the past for another class. So this is like a real, like, I love hero cards. I love cards that get cards from the past because it's so nostalgic and awesome, and I really love the whole vibe of this card. I think it's great. But what Warlock cards are you gonna run in your like Value Thief Excavate Rogue? Any of the, like, Health Drink maybe, but like no, that seems terrible. All of the self-damage stuff seems terrible in Rogue. So you don't want to put the Tourist in, unfortunately, even though it's really cool. I will try to play a deck that runs it, just because I want to play it. Like, I want to play the old hero cards, but unfortunately you don't want to put Warlock cards in your Rogue deck, so that won't be good. There was one more, I think. Yeah. Petty Theft, 2 mana spell, get 2 random 1-cost spells from other classes. I think this will be good in the Excavate Rogue, except it is kind of random, and 1-cost spells are not always good. They are good with Sonya, so that is something. Actually, this might actually well see play in that deck just because of its really good synergy with Sonya. But other than that, so we've got Rogue as a whole, a lot of like Value Thief stuff, which I like and is fun, but I'm not entirely sure how many cards that Excavate Rogue can cut in order to accommodate these, and B, how good that type of value deck is actually going to be coming up. What will be good, though, I like doing these transitions where I say these cards suck, but check out what doesn't suck, right? Paladin. So Paladin has, very importantly, we'll talk about this card first because I think it kind of sets up everything in the whole Paladin set. Sunsapper Lynessa, it's a 5 mana 2/6 Rogue Tourist. Your spells that cost 2 or less cast twice. So basically, whenever you see cast twice, anything like that, you want to think, what kind of combos can I do with this? And actually, the Rogue set has very good synergy with what's going on in Paladin, especially O Manager, because if you play that with Lynessa, you're doing 4 damage, and it basically pays for itself, plus 2 more mana, unless I'm just like totally having a brain failure right now, but like I'm pretty sure that gives you 2 coins, and then each coin you cast is going to cast twice from Lynessa. So it basically does 4 damage, pays for itself, plus 2 mana, which is crazy. For like when you're popping off with combos and stuff, that's incredibly good. And then what is the combo going to be? Not this, but this will help, I think. Life-saving aura, 1 mana holy spell. At the end of your turn, get a 1-cost sunscreen that gives +1/+2. Last 3 turns. So I think all of the Paladin Aura cards have generally been really good. I think this will also be really good. You can draw it with the 3-mana Whizbang guy that draws a minion and a aura, so you can tutor for it. And I actually think the 1 cost getting +1/+2 is really good, because it in, let's say, like, what are the existing Paladin decks right now? Like, I think maybe in the combo one coming up, this will be good because it can get doubled up with Lynessa. But in like hand buff Paladin and like the Swarm Paladin with tokens, this will be good because you can basically fill out your curve with 1-mana buffs, which is actually really convenient. Think about like Bunch of Bananas for Hunter. That card is so good, in my opinion, because you can use it to fill out your curve really, really efficiently. So if you have an inefficient play where you're not spending all of your mana, you just cap it off with however many bananas you need, however many little 1-cost buffs you need. So this is in the similar vein as that. Really good, I think. Divine Brew. This is the card I think that is going to break Paladin. Well, not the card that's going to break it by itself, but this card will. This is the combo, basically. 1-mana Holy Spell, give a character Divine Shield. If it already had one, give it +1 attack this turn, and it's repeatable 3 times. So when you're talking about +1 attack, well, giving a character Divine Shield, that actually means your hero too. So this can target your hero, which is basically everything. If this couldn't target your hero, it would be whatever. But you get Lynessa, you get 3 of these, each of them cast twice, so that's, I don't even know what the math is, but that's a lot of attack your hero's getting. And then you just have Horn of the Windlord equipped from a previous turn, which doubles all of that. And I'm pretty sure that's an OTK by itself. I'd be very surprised if that's actually not. But and then you use the rogue cards, like you use O Manager, and actually O Manager I think is the only rogue spell that you're gonna play. Maybe Knick-Knack Shack, I don't know, I have to think about it. But basically you're getting a massive OTK. It's very easy to do. You only need a couple cards for it, and Lynessa is good by itself. So if you're not gonna do I think this Paladin deck will be an OTK deck that is also good just by itself. It doesn't need the OTK. It can win in other ways. For example, the other ways it could win, maybe Service Ace is a 3-mana 3/3. After this minion gains attack, reduce the cost of the highest cost card in your hand by 1. So what you can do is you can have Divine Brew. You can target Service Ace a bunch of times with it and use the sunscreens that you get from the aura, and you can reduce Lynessa. You can reduce another big card in your hand and cheat it out really early. That's a really good game plan for Paladin. I think this card will be really good in that deck. And then you have Sea Shanty, 10-mana spell, summon 3 5/5 pirates, cost 1 less for each spell you've cast on characters this game. So this, I think, will be great in the Lynessa combo stuff that we've been talking about with Divine Brew and Lifesaver's Aura, because if you're targeting your own stuff so many times with spells, this is going to cost 0 really fast, and 0-mana 3 5/5s is like game winning in a lot of scenarios, and it sets you up for like a crazy turn after that. So this card will be great in that deck. It's a kind of another one that just fits really cleanly into it, and it'll be really good. I'm gonna take a drink and you guys can read this. Alright, we're almost done, guys. We're almost there. This is a Grill Master, 4-mana 3/4. Battle Cry, draw your lowest cost card. Death Rattle, draw your highest cost card. It's like Chol Fallen Baron for Paladin, but a little worse, I think. Even though it tutors, it's pretty good card draw. It might be good in the combo buff Paladin thing that we've been talking about, but it's a little slow. So if it does see play, it'll be in that, but it might just be cut for better cards ultimately. We have Lifeguard, which is a 4-mana 2/7 with taunt. battle cry, the next spell you cast has lifesteal. I have no idea what like this wants, like consecration. I don't know. There's no control paladin happening. I don't think Reno paladin is happening. The only paladin I think that's happening is the combo with Lynessa and the buffing and all that. This is no place in that, so therefore it won't be good. Power Spike is, oh, excuse me, 6 mana holy spell, deal 4 damage, give a random friendly minion +4/+4. I think it's good, like it's pretty good stats and effect for the cost. It's maybe a little bit overcosted, honestly, at 6, but again, I don't think this actually has a place in like the combo Lynessa Paladin deck, so we can just skip over it again. Okay, San Kazel is the legendary 5 mana 3/8 elemental with rush. After this attack's turned into a location, and the location it turns into is a 5 mana 8 durability location. Give a friendly minion +3 attack and rush, and turn back into a minion. So it's kind of hard to like picture how this card will actually work out because it's such a weird effect. But it's very much like it's very what is the Remornia Living Blade from Warrior in Castle Nathria. It's like the weapon that turns into a minion and turns back. It's like that. I think it'll be good. Like, it's definitely very good stats for the cost. It has good synergy with like buffs and hand buffs too. But the thing is it's just like rushing and killing minions and stuff and being aggressive on the board. It's not, I don't think it fits very cleanly into the combo paladin archetype. I think it'll be tried out. It might be in some of the worst versions of the deck. I definitely think it's good. I just think it might not be a great fit. Was that it? No, I swear there was one more. Yeah, they always want me to skip the last two. I'm not going to do it. Volleyball is a 3 mana 3/2 weapon. After hero attacks, get a one cost sunscreen that gives +1/+2. I think this card will actually be really good in the Lynessa small buff deck because you're getting more sunscreens, which will, again, I talked about how the sunscreens are really good to fill out your early game curve. But they also discount Sea Shanty, and they can get Service Ace to discount some stuff. So it's good. It's just a 3 mana 3/2 weapon, which has historically always been pretty good if the effect is good enough. So yeah, I think Paladin will be great. I think the buffing Paladin will be tier 1 for sure with Lynessa. I think that it will be kind of a hard deck to beat because it does well against so many different archetypes. Like, it does well against control, and I think it actually will fare pretty well against the aggressive Demon Hunter Pirate stuff, just because it has such a strong board presence, and it could maybe have some healing too if it can fit in the right cards for it. So I think it will be a great deck, and I actually think it'll be a lot of fun. There is one card that I actually forgot to mention that makes that all kind of work, and we can talk about that really quick. It's the Concierge from Neutral. 3 mana 3/4 pirate. Your cards from another class cost 1 less. You can by the way, this counts as cards that you put in from the tourists. So if you have that, you play that. Your frickin' Divine Bruise costs 0. And you can kind of figure out what happens then when you have 0 cost spells that cast twice that you can basically infinitely spam in one turn. That will be, I think, if the combo Paladin stuff is too strong, they should nerf Concierge, because just having the infinite mana cheat is pretty shitty. Like, I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that's a hot take, though. Concierge will also be good in the Druid OTK, which we are going to talk about with Mage, actually. So it's all coming full circle here. So Mage, start off with Maroon Archmage, 3 mana 3/3. Your first spell each turn costs 2 less. I think this card won't be played just because it's not even great tempo or mana cheat for the cost. It's a 3 mana 3/3, so it's like you're playing a shitty minion and you're getting like a very slight mana cheat effect on it. That it could get like snowbally, but I don't see it. Tide Pools, 3 mana, location, 3 durability. Discover a spell that costs 3 or less. After you cast a spell, reopen this. I think that it's hard to think of like a good deck that this will see play in. Maybe like Spell Mage, or perhaps the combo sort of mage with Paladin that I'll talk about in a sec. Well, it's not exactly a combo, but the token mage, we'll call it. Token small spell mage. This will probably see play in. Unless I think it's on the lower end of card quality for that deck, but if that deck needs cards, then this will go into it. Okay, this card, Seabreeze Chalice, 1 mana frost spell, deal 2 damage randomly split among all enemies, usable 3 times. I think this card is actually what is going to make the Druid combo really good, where you have Concierge to make it cost 0, and then you have actually it's not in this set, so there's no point showing it, but you have the Druid Tourist, so you could put the mage stuff in it, and then you have the spell damage stuff like the location and the Chia Drake and maybe Aulonius if there is enough room in the meta for that. And then this basically you just spam. It scales so incredibly well with spell damage. You just spam damage at the enemy hero, and you can do it really fast because it costs 0 mana with Concierge. This card will be great. In that, it'll also, I think, put Rainbow Mage back on the map as like a really viable combo deck, because after Rainbow Mage got pretty much destroyed by the snake oil salesman guy that gives you the 0 mana deal damage spell. They made it 1 mana, which made Rainbow Mage have a serious problem where it didn't have enough mana in a turn to basically play Sif and then spam spells. But this card is so cheap. It's probably, you can discount it with the watercolor artist, I think it is. Discounts frost spells and tutors it. That's really good. And then you can get off so much damage with this and with Sif that I think Rainbow Mage will be a really good combo deck, and it'll be able to compete with the other good combo decks such as Druid and such as Shaman and Paladin. It won't be as good as the Paladin one, I don't think, but it'll be good. It'll compete with that. Go with the Flow is a 1 mana spell. Choose a minion. If it's enemy, freeze it. If it's friendly, give it spell damage +1. I don't think this is great in Mage, because if you're having Sif, then I don't think you really need to play this on top of it. But in Druid, this is great because you can have it cost 0 mana with Concierge, and you can play it 1 or 2 times on friendly minions to get your spell damage up, and then play Seabreeze Chalice a bunch of times. Like, that will be insane. Also, the Druid Tourist that repeats all of your spells from the past 3 turns. Let's say that your combo doesn't work out, right? Like, you don't have enough damage to kill them. You just wait. You just keep spamming spells, and in a few turns, you just do all of that damage all over again. Maybe with less spell damage, but it's still so good. Like, that deck will be incredible. This is a really exciting card for Mage. Rayla Sand Sculptor. 4 mana, 2/5 Paladin Tourist. After you cast a spell, summon a random 2-cost minion and give it Divine Shield. So when you have this one in your deck, you've got like what you want to put in is like Life-Saving Aura, Divine Brew, and maybe Volume Halts to get those sunscreens, and Sea Shanty also, because that way you want to buff or cast small spells, but you want small spells, small Paladin spells. A lot of Mage spells are cheap to cast, so if you play this on turn 4 and then like coin into some other like random degenerate like stuff with that costs 0, you're like filling the board with really sticky minions really fast, and that will be really good. I think this will be this type of like token mage will be a pretty good deck. It won't, I don't think it's as consistent as the aggressive stuff. I don't think it's as aggressive as it needs to be to beat combo, but I think people will like playing it. It'll probably be like a tier 3 deck. I think it'll be fun, basically, but will it be great? I don't know. It might be too slow. We have Rising Waves, 3 mana spell, deal 2 damage to all minions. If none die, deal 2 more. This will be really good in Druid, actually, I think, because Druid, I think I talked about it in the last stream, but Druid doesn't have access to many board clears historically. With this, it does, plus Swipe, plus Malfurion's Gift. It's got tons of board clears. It'll help it survive against aggressive stuff. And then make it to the point where it can put off its combo. So this will be great in Druid. I don't know how good it will be in Mage, but we'll see. Okay, so a couple of things that we have are a big spell Mage, which I don't think will be good at all. I think it's too slow. We'll start with Under the Sea. Draw a different spell, summon a random minion of that spell's cost. It's basically Spiteful Summoner, which I don't think would be good today, even though it was great back 100 years ago. But it's kind of worse than Spiteful Summoner, is even though it draws the card, you don't get another 4/4 with it. So it's really slow. Like, it costs 6 mana. Let's look at the other things. So Tsunami, we talked about a bit with Druid. 8 mana frost spell, summon 3 3/6 water elementals that freeze, they attack random enemies. I think it is another thing where it will be good in Druid because you can cheat it out and you can repeat it with the Mage Taurus and you can stall out the game with it. But in Mage, I think it's too slow. I think even though it's a good big spell that you want to cast, it's still the cheating is not there for the big spells that you want. Like, you have Cephalopods, which is a 5 mana 5/6 beast battlecry. The next spell you draw is Cast when drawn, which is really bad. Ideally you would play this and then the next turn you draw Tsunami or like the Sunset Volley from Badlands, but like you have to like pray for that to happen, right? You have so many cards in your deck and that's such a narrow chance of that happening. And if you have this, then you can't really have any small spells in your deck to support it, because if you play this and then you draw a small spell that casts when drawn, it's like terrible. It's really bad. So this is not the type of mana cheat that we want. So therefore, I don't think it's gonna make the deck good. Nope, we're not trying to skip. Last one, King Tide, 4 mana 4/4, legendary battlecry. Both players' spells cost 5 until the end of your next turn. Another one is like cheating out big spells. This one is better for sure than Cephalopods, but I just don't think the support is there. I think it's too slow. I think the payoff isn't good enough. Basically with Mage, we've got the stuff that goes into Druid, which is great. Spell damage, Seabreeze Chalice, that stuff. And then you've got the token Mage with Paladin, which will be good. It won't be great, but it will be a solid deck, I think. Okay, so that's all the classes. We have the neutral cards. A lot of the neutral cards I'm going to skip over because they are clearly never going to see play and have no application whatsoever. This one is cool though. Incendious, which is a 6 mana 2/10 elemental. At the end of your turn, upgrade your eruptions. Battlecry summon, shuffle 5 eruptions into your deck. The eruptions are cast when drawn, deal 1 damage to all enemies. So if you play this, you get 5 of them, and then they deal 2 when they're drawn. There are a lot of ways to kind of cheat this out or copy it because it's neutral. I'm sure the possibilities are endless. I think that if you find some kind of way to cheat it out and then get the eruptions out really quick and have them scale up really quick, it'll be good. Ideally, in a different meta, it would be really, really great value over time because you're getting like consistent damage over time. But that's not going to be the meta where like value over time is good. So we'll see. I think it's a cool card. Okay, this one a lot of people have been talking about. Adaptive Amalgam, 1 mana, 1/2. It's got all minion types. Death Rattle, shuffle this into your deck. It keeps any enchantments. There are a lot of possibilities with this, like the hand buffing stuff for Warrior and Hunter and maybe Paladin. But I think it's all kind of memes. I don't think that it's good to consistently summon a big minion. Like, that is good in a different meta, but in this upcoming meta, I don't think it's good. I think people will play it because it's fun and it's a cool card, but yeah. Okay, this one we don't have to talk about. It's bad. This one's bad. This one's bad. This one. I mean, yeah, no, that one's bad. Hold on, let's just take a look at all of them. Okay, so Beached Whale we can talk about. This card is one of the ones that you want to put in like the big Warrior decks or even big Hunter maybe. I think it's good in that deck, but again, like I don't think that deck will be great. So, and this is definitely like a one of in it. You don't want two of it because at the end of the day, it doesn't pose that big of a threat on the board. It's just kind of good anti-aggro. That one, oh, okay, so this is actually something. 3 mana, 2/4 pirate. Hosen Roughhouser. Whenever another friendly pirate attacks, give it +1/+1. I think this will see play in the Demon Hunter aggressive pirate stuff, just because it's like a very snowbally minion, snowbally early game pirate that is going to be buffing up your pirates constantly, and I think that'll be good. This one maybe 2 mana, 1/4 pirate Coconut Cannoneer. After an adjacent minion attacks, do 1 damage to a random enemy. This is like maybe good in the pirate deck. I don't think it's quite good enough to make the cut. Are you serious? They made a Mamalo reference in this? Dude, whoever's making these flavor texts is like on a totally different level. You think these just fell out of a coconut tree? Okay, maybe this card is actually perfect then. I mean, look at that. Hats off to them. That's incredible. That actually made my day. Thank you, Coconut Cannoneer. Okay, anyways, moving on. Tidal Pupil, this card will see play, I think, in a bunch of decks. 1 mana, 2/1 Naga Battlecry. If you cast 3 spells while holding this, discover one of them. This is the type of card that will be great in like the Druid combo stuff with the Seabreeze Chalice, because you get an extra copy of it. I think in the Paladin Lynessa stuff, you want this too, because you get an extra copy of the I don't remember it, but the thing that buffs up your attack. So this will be good in those combo decks. Theoretically, like it's good in like a value deck too, but value decks won't really be a thing. I don't think that's good. Okay, 3 mana, 2/4 Sailboat Captain, Pirate, Battlecry, give a friendly pirate Wind Fury. This will maybe see play in the aggressive token pirate deck, but the thing is it's a lot of small tokens. You're not summoning like a big or medium pirate, I don't think, so it might not be good enough. Lamplighter, 3 mana, 3/2 elemental, Battlecry, deal 1 damage, improve by each turn where you've played an elemental. I've heard tellings of a rogue deck that will basically just spam Lamplighter with like Breakdance and Shadow Step. I don't think that'll be good. I hope it's not good, because that seems really annoying. I don't see another scenario that this card would actually be relevant though. I like this card. I think it's cool. 6 mana, 6/6 Dread Deserter Pirate has charge if this isn't starting your deck. If I actually like the design of this card, because it's just, if you discover it, it's like, oh my god, like that's awesome. But I don't think aggressive pirate decks are going to be discovering stuff. Concierge, we've already talked about this card. I hope they nerf it to it cannot cost less than 1, because it's going to just basically be the linchpin that enables like every single combo that's happening, and it might just be a little bit too good. Like 3 mana, make all of your cards cost 0 basically. I don't know. Another pirate, not very good. Not very good. There's a couple different like location decks ideas I've seen popping up. There's a 10 mana Seaside Giant, 8/8, costs 2 less for each time you've used the location this game. I think that this will, if there is like the location type deck that wants to spam locations and use them a bunch of times, this will be good. I don't know if that is a good deck though. Okay, Grifta, Trusted Vendor. Battlecry, discover an amazing amulet to give to both players. The enemy is a phony version. Basically, the idea is you get a good card, you discover a really good card, and then you give your opponent a slightly worse version of that card. I think this is really cool, and I think it will actually see play in a couple different decks. Like, I think it will see play in Rogue because the treasures or the amulets you get cost 1, so you can Sonya bounce them, cheat them out, spam them like that. So it'll see play in Rogue. There might be other decks that it kind of fits into, but we'll have to. I think time will tell with that. We don't even get out of here with that. This one, Mixologist, 3 mana, 2/3 Battlecry, craft a custom 1-cost potion. Basically, you get like a Kazakus 1-cost potion. I think if in a value deck, this would be a great card. I really like the idea of this card, but like value, I don't know if that's gonna be a thing. Okay, so we have Gorgonzormu, which is a 3 mana 3/3 dragon. Battlecry, get a 2-cost cheese that summons 3 1-cost minions. It upgrades each turn. You can see the cheese here. It's a 2 mana spell. This will be good in like token paladin, token decks, because you can cheat out Ziliax really quick with it, unfortunately. So this will be good in that type of deck. Maybe even the pirate token pirate deck might be good. Okay, AFK is a very perplexing card for a lot of people. It's a 5 mana 0/5. At the end of your turn, give all other friendly minions that didn't attack +2/+2. Like, I really think there must be something so broken about this card that we just don't know about yet, that's like so galaxy brain that no one's been able to figure out. Because how could it be this bad, right? Like, how could they print a card in 2024 that's this bad? Like, 5 mana 0/5, like, get out of here. There must be something that we haven't thought of yet that's good, guy. Like, there must be something. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, and then the last card that we have, Marin the Manager, has been in the game already for like a month, and he's broken. I mean, I wouldn't say he's broken. He's not too annoying to play against. Good value. He's great in Druid, good mana cheat. And yeah, okay, so we actually did it. We made it through the entire card set, Perils in Paradise, guys. That was really fun. I really enjoyed talking about the game. I like talking about cards, reviewing new cards. The expansion comes out tomorrow, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be enjoying it. And yeah, maybe I'll come back and stream some of it. Stream more card reviews and more cards get revealed. Who knows? But thank you guys for watching.